Joe here, everybody. Welcome to Tech Stuff. Little bit different today. I'm further back now, and I cleared off the wall. Now it doesn't look so trashy. Just pardon this thing. Can't remove that. But maybe I'll get a nice background, or maybe some words on the wall or something. I don't know all this stuff, but for now it's gonna be nice and plain. So today I want to talk about the worst tech products of all time. I found a website that gave the list of their top 25, link in the description, and I took my top 5 from there and said these are the worst in my opinion. So let's get going. Number 4 is Windows ME. ME stood for Millennium Edition. Windows ME was designed so you had Windows ME and you had Windows 2000. Windows 2000 came out in early 2000. ME came out in the fall of 2000. Now, why did they do a second one in the fall? Well, there were a lot of people that still wanted to run their old MS-DOS style programs, which Windows 2000 stopped support with, to try to get away from it. But to give the people kind of a way to do that, they kind of took Windows 2000 and reverted it a little bit back to let it do that DOS stuff with Windows ME. Windows ME was just horrible. It would crash all the time. You would constantly get the blue screen of death for absolutely no reason. It wouldn't even need to work hard, and it would pop up at you like you could plug in new hardware, and it would pop up 50% of the time. Like, really? It was just not a stable operating system at all. And thankfully, they hurried up with Windows XP. They did a great job with it, got it out within the next year. So that's good. Number 8 on the list is iOS. Excuse me, not iOS. Number 8 is IE6, Internet Explorer 6. This is really bad because the way they built it was really bad. There was an easy way for a lot of viruses and security problems to get through it and cause harm to your computer. There's this one really common virus that would slip right through IE6 and take all of your passwords and crap out of your computer and send it off to some company. And that happened with IE6, and that's why a lot of people are using, some people use other browsers because IE is usually slowest, but that's why a lot of people don't use Internet Explorer, because of that security threat. Now they fixed it, and it's faster now with IE10, but that IE6 was pretty bad. Number 17 on the list is the Mac Portable. This was Apple's first attempt at a portable computer. This is a great idea. Horrible execution of the idea. This was 1989. It was expensive, it was heavy, and it just had barely any specs to it. Didn't do much. It couldn't do much. It had bad specs, and it just did not sell. Thankfully, they fixed it with the Mac Pro in the 90s, or whatever they released. Speaking of 90s and Apple, the Apple Pippin was the 22nd worst tech product of all time. You're sitting there going, what the hell is a Pippin? Well, it's a game console. Yeah, Apple tried a gaming console. Failed miserably. Why? Expensive and low specs. Because stuff Nintendo had out at the time was cheaper, had more games for it, and it was just way better because Nintendo had already been instated, and now Apple's trying to get in, and developers and consumers just didn't go for it. Number 25 on the list is the Sharp RD3D notebook. This was a notebook computer that was a shot at doing 3D screen. This was really bad because there was a button you would push on the keyboard to get 3D. That's how it would work. But the 3D wasn't all that good. It just, to be honest, it was horrible. It did not run good. You had to look at the screen at a specific angle, otherwise it wouldn't show up at all, as far as your eyes are concerned. And it would give massive headaches to anybody looking at it. It was just bad. So, there's the 5 that I picked from that list, and here's some honorable mentions. We have the OQO Model 1 computer. This is a computer. It was marketed as the world's smallest Windows XP computer. And that's exactly what the problem was. It was about this big, and it had a keyboard that would come up. The keyboard was a little bit bigger than what phones would have. Not like on-screen keyboards, but like the ones that where the keyboard slide out. A little bit bigger than that. It was just really hard to press, and the keys were hard to press anyway. And you gotta try to do this with your thumbs. It didn't work at all, and it was just so small. And it was running full Windows XP. They didn't have a changed version to let it work on the smaller screen. The screen was 5 by 3 inches. 5 by 3 on a computer. There's photo paper that's bigger than that, for God's sake. It was just bad. Plus, it was hot to the touch because it was so thin. Everything was crammed in there. And it was so hot to the touch. And it cost $1,900. Yeah. So, did not work well at all. Then you have the Microsoft Bob. This was a social interface designed for Windows 3.1. So this is early 90s. Bob featured a living room that was filled with clickable objects and full of cartoon helpers. Why would somebody need this? I mean, a lot of people just didn't see the necessity of it. It was kind of a pain to run and use, and it just didn't work very well. Then you have Windows Vista. Vista was released in 2006. It was bad because it was truly rushed. It was really rushed, which is weird to say since Windows XP was in 2001, and 5 years later was Windows Vista. So it's weird to say that something in 5 years was rushed, but here's what happened. It was called the Longhorn Project when it was in development, and so from Windows XP, they developed Longhorn, and it was pretty nice looking, and then they want to add some stuff to make it unique, to make it truly a next operating system. So they added stuff and added stuff and added stuff, and they realized that it was getting really, really big, and it had too much stuff. Some of the features were actually pretty cool, and it's unfortunate they had to take them out. But it was, so 2004, they said, you know what, screw it. They scrapped the entire Longhorn project. The entire project. Then they took Windows Server 2003 and worked from that code. So, basically they had to crank out a whole operating system in 2 years from a server edition of an operating system. So that's why it was rushed. It was slow. It didn't have as bad of blue screen problems as Windows ME did, but it did still have some of those problems, and Service Pack updates fixed that a little bit. It was also huge. You needed very high system specs. You needed at least 1 GB of RAM. You need all this stuff that Windows XP just didn't need, and that's why a lot of people stuck or went back to Windows Vista, because, went back to Windows XP because it just didn't need as much stuff as the Vista did, and it was just bad. And the final honorable mention is the Apple Lisa. This was 1983. The Vista was Apple's first attempt at a graphical user interface. This thing, it's just a mouse, so you know that GUI computers are industry standard today. But 1983, so let's put this in perspective. You have to have at least a megabyte of RAM to do that kind of computing with an interface. You had to have at least a megabyte of RAM. A megabyte of RAM cost $5,000 back then. So their computer retailed for about $10,000. Think that's bad? You take in inflation and stuff. 10 grand in 1983 has the buying power, so it's worth $20,000 in today's money. So if Apple were to release the Vista right now, it would cost $20,000. $20,000. Wow. So it did not sell very well at all. Then Apple realized this, and then they made the Mac for a lot cheaper. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Subscribe right here. Go down there, like this video, share it, do whatever you need to do. I got some other videos out, so check out my channel. Right there, there's a link to my channel. And I'm sorry about not getting a video out last Friday. I was out of town and I couldn't film it. I tried to film an apology video to put up on Friday, but my stupid app wouldn't let me upload it. So, sorry about that. But now we're back on my Tuesday and Friday schedule, and I'll be sure to let you know in advance if I can't do a video one day, and you guys will know about it. So, thanks for watching. This is Tech Stuff with Joe Green. See you next time.